And may we have a roll call, please?
Acting Chair Macon,
Here.
Chairman Najad is absent, Commissioner Beatty is absent, Commissioner Jabbar,
Present.
Commissioner Javid,
Here.
Commissioner Linton is absent, Commissioner Noyola,
Here.
Commissioner Pate,
Here.
Commissioner Karishi,
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Harris, and Alternate Commissioner Sorrell.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the meeting? If so, do I hear a motion or any corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, minutes carried. Okay, our first item on the agenda is PZ 2022-106. Adina, can you help us with that?
We'll be waiting for Chris.
Oh, if that's okay. Sure. So he's on the way?
As far as I know, he's on his way.
Okay, good deal.
I wasn't asked to present, so I'm assuming he's planning to do it.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. Well, we're starting right on time. Perfect. There we go. We're going to wait just a minute. We have another gentleman who needs to come in. That's staff. There he is. Hey, Chris. We were just getting started on PZ 2022-106.
Okay, good afternoon. I apologize for being late. The first item on the regular agenda is PZ 2022-106, which is to consider a request for replat of lots 3A and 4A into lots 3A1 and 4A1, Block 1, Amelia Meadows Addition, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. Tom Rowe, Mark Whiteley and Associates, has requested approval of a replat of lots 3A into 4A and 4A rather into 3A1 and 4A1, Blocks 1, Amelia Meadows Addition. The purpose of the plat is to transfer ownership of an approximately 10-foot strip between the properties. All utilities appear to be in place and both lots meet all requirements for platting. Let me go ahead and show you the slides. You can see here, a little hard to read, but you can see this, the lot sizes are well above the minimum. They have front public access. Public utilities are available, but the purpose is just to shift that 10 feet over. We have sent out 4 notices to neighboring property owners, as this is a residential replat. We've received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. Staff does recommend approval.
Okay. Are there any questions of staff? Okay, and is the applicant in the audience? Yes, sir. If If you'll give us your name and address, please.
Good afternoon, Tom Rowe with Mark Whiteley and Associates, 655 Langham, Unit 14. Give you a little history of this. It's kind of, I think this is the first time I've presented a replat like this. So last summer in July, this was replatted into 3A and 4A. The original plat was filed in 2008 as lots 3 and 4, 1 through 4. The owner, Mr. Broussard, last summer wanted to move the lot line over to sell lot 4. He sold lot 4. And his new neighbor now decided that, hey, I would like to have a little bit more yard. So we're putting this back to what it originally was
Okay.
as it was platted. Kind of unusual instance, but that's what it is. I mean, we're just going back to what it was in 2008 as it was platted originally.
Okay. Any questions of Tom? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Chris, is this a public hearing?
No.
The public is able to speak on it. Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or opposition of this? If so, please come forward and state your name and address. Anyone? Okay, public hearing is now closed. Do I hear a motion?
I have a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion to approve in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay. Thank you. Chris, PZ 2022-109.
Yes, ma'am. The second item on the regular agenda is 2022-109, which is to consider a request for preliminary plat approval of Whispering Heights, Phase 2, Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas. Fitz and Shipman, Inc. has requested preliminary plat approval of Whispering Heights, Phase 1. The development is located north of Rehan Wood Street. The 5.533 acre development is an 18-lot residential subdivision in an RS residential single-family dwelling zoning district. All lots will access Point Parkway, which is the adjacent arterial street, via the extension of Mumtaz Drive. Water and sewer will be provided by extension of city utilities. Mumtaz Drive and Dr. Qureshi Drive are considered minor collector roadways per the number of dwelling units in the ordinance. Therefore, roadway pavements shall be 36 foot wide, face of curb to face of curb within a 60-foot right-of-way for Dr. Qureshi Drive, as well as Mumtaz Drive just north of Dr. Qureshi Drive. In addition, the streetlight layout needs to be revised to comply with the ordinance regarding streetlight spacing requirements. The subdivision regulations state that streetlights shall be installed at all intersections and at additional locations not less than 200 feet apart. Locations shall be designated so as to provide an average separation of approximately 250 feet. And let me go ahead and show you, this is the overall layout of the subdivision. You can see the adjacent Point Parkway is here to the east. This is Dr. Qureshi Drive coming here. And this is the unit in question, which, let me go ahead and see. Oop, wrong button. Okay, this is the unit in question. And you can see Dr. Qureshi Drive is here to the north, and this is Mumtaz Drive here. And again, this is the unit in question. But based on that, staff is recommending approval subject to the following conditions. Number one, construct all streets to meet city subdivision ordinance requirements. Number two, space street lights to meet city subdivision ordinance requirements. And then finally, condition 3, add the following note to the final plat. If lots are not developed within 5 years of the recordation of the final plat, the current property owner shall construct the sidewalk. And again, the idea behind that note is that if such time the lots are not developed, the sidewalks would be installed. But based on that, staff is recommending approval subject to those 3 conditions.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Is there any questions of staff? No? Okay, we have one person who's going to abstain in the voting on that. Is the applicant in the audience? And if you'll give us your name and address, please.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Bernardino Tristan with Fitz and Shipman, 1405 Cornerstone Court, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, do you have anything you wish to add to what we've already discussed or Chris has mentioned?
No, we're real excited to be part of the Phase 2 section of this Whispering Heights.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or opposition? Anyone who'd like to speak? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion or discussion?
Madam Chair, I recommend that motion be made following all the conditions, 1, 2, and 3 are met.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion to approve in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. And this ends our portion of the Planning Commission. We'll be doing a joint meeting with the City Council when we have everyone together. Thank you.
इसका है मालूम है आपको? नहीं कमर्शियल बस स्ट्रीट पे बैठ कर करना है। वो भी बता, वो भी बना, वो भी डेवलप करना चाह रहे हैं। ले लिए हैं, वो डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं राइट नाउ। नेक्स्ट मीटिंग में आएगा मैं उससे। अच्छा, उनकी भी हेल्प करेंगे। अच्छा, उससे होता है थर्ड पार्टी से डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो नहीं कर सकते। नहीं, मुझे हमारी जैसा करो वैसा नहीं करके ऑन एम्प्लॉयज को दिन लगा देना पड़ता है। पूरे सारे वीकेंड लगा दिया 10 साल से। खुद ठहर के तो अच्छी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से लेना पड़ेगा। इसका से गुजरे तो बताइए। उसके पास रहती है लैंड्स पूरे जी 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 उसके पास क्या क्या है तो वो बताएंगे आपको।
Did you say you're ready for the roll call? Oh, I heard you say roll call. Were you just saying it?
Are we ready for roll call?
Yes.
May I have the roll call?
Yes, I'm sorry. Mayor Mouton,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Samuel, Councilmember Feldshaw, Councilmember Turner, absent, Councilmember Neal, Councilmember Getz, absent, and Councilmember Durio, absent. Thank you.
Okay.
So y'all really are waiting on me.
No problem.
So sorry. I was out in the hallway, I met a little girl about 3 years ago, and she was visiting Beaumont, and they called me and they came back to Beaumont to see me again. So,
Aw.
good afternoon, and welcome to the Planning and Zoning Joint Meeting with the Beaumont City Council. Today will be the only opportunity that you will have to either, to listen to all of the files today. All of the files will come to the Beaumont City Council within the next 2 weeks. So at this meeting, this is your only opportunity to either voice your opinion for or against any of the items. So make sure that you say whatever you need to say, because this is the only time we will hear this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, file PZ 2021-455.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The third item on the agenda, the first on the joint meeting, is file PZ 2021-455, which is to consider a request for a specific use permit to allow a commercial strip center, including a laundromat, retail and office space in a GCMD 2 General Commercial Multifamily Dwelling 2 district at 2855 North Major Drive. Aaron Ward of Faust Engineering and Surveying is requesting a specific use permit at this location, again for uses that would include a laundromat, retail, and office spaces. This property was annexed into the city in 2016 and then was subsequently rezoned to GCMD, General Commercial Multifamily District 2, in 2018. As you may be aware, most uses in GCMD 2 do require specific use permits. Existing development on this portion of the west side of Major Drive was existing when this annexation took place. And we point that out because you'll notice some of the development may not have had all the requirements typically in place within the city. So we point that out. Mr. Ward states that possible uses, again, may include laundromat, retail, and office space. The site will include up to 12 lease spaces. All utilities are available along the North Major Drive, and the developer states that drainage will be provided in partnership with TxDOT, Texas Department of Transportation. And let me go ahead and show some slides. The property in question is there outlined in red on the west side of Major Drive. This is a view of the proposed site plan of the development with the lease spaces and parking. This is an overview of the site. As you can see, there is a drainage feature that runs through the property, but again, the developer is working with TxDOT and others to address that issue. This is a view of the subject property, undeveloped. Also the subject property. A view to the north. This is a view to the east across Major Drive. And based on that, we did send out 5 notices to area property owners. We received 0 in favor and 0 responses in opposition. Staff is recommending approval subject to the following conditions. Number 1, must meet all requirements by water utilities for any water and sanitary sewer improvements, including any requirements of the city's backflow and or pre-treatment programs. Number 2, install landscaping to meet City of Beaumont regulations. And number 3, acquire TxDOT permission for the sidewalk along Major Drive or construct a sidewalk on private property. And with that, are there any questions of staff?
Chris, can you show us where the sidewalk will be in the landscape strip?
Yes, so if you can follow the mouse, essentially the sidewalk will need to be, it is shown here. Yeah, it looks like this is a drainage way, so it'll either need to be, essentially the closer to Major Drive, the better, if it's allowed to go on TxDOT property. If it's not, it's going to need to be on city property, or excuse me, on their private property.
So who determines where that goes?
Well,
TxDOT or who?
So historically, the engineer for the project will work with our engineer as well as TxDOT's engineer as to exactly where the sidewalk will go. You may be aware in recent months, we've had some discussion with TxDOT as to whether or not they want to allow sidewalks in their right-of-way anymore. And that issue has not been resolved. We're still discussing that with them, but that's why the condition is worded as it is, such that ideally we want it close to North Major Drive so that those walking along Major can use it. But again, if TxDOT would not allow it, then it would be on private property within the development.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of staff?
How many entrances and exits do we have?
So currently they're proposing just one. And again, with the amount of traffic on Major Drive, they will be working with TxDOT as to the size and design and location of that. Again, the idea would be to try to mitigate the impact on the traffic.
Okay, any other questions of staff? Okay, is the applicant in the audience? Yes, sir. If you could give us your name and address. We all know it, but
Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Beaumont.
it is.
My name is Richard Faust with Faust Engineering and Surveying. Our office is at 5550 East Tex Freeway, Suite O in Beaumont, Texas.
Anything you want to add to this?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
As long as you pass it, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, is there any questions?
If you have any
Of the
questions for
gentleman?
me,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition? Please come forward. No one came, so we're going to close the public hearing. Is there a discussion or a motion?
Motion to approve with the stipulations.
Okay, a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Motion to approve in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Chris, PZ 2022-16.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is PZ 2022-16. Consider a request for a specific use permit to allow a drinking place in the GCMD General Commercial Multifamily Dwelling District at 10425 East Tex Freeway, Suite 100. Tammy Scott is requesting a specific use permit to allow a drinking place at this location. You may recall this item was presented at a joint public hearing in February, but Ms. Scott was not able to attend, and the item was tabled for a meeting in the future where she would be able to attend. So, Ms. Scott says that they plan to offer a family-friendly environment at the business. All of their flavors will be available in a non-alcoholic option. The location will have a drive-through window offering to-go daiquiris as well. Hours of operation will be Sunday noon till 10 p.m., Monday through Wednesday 2 p.m. until 10 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday noon till midnight. We do believe that the use is compatible with the properties to the north and south. However, we are recommending some mitigating conditions in order to limit the impact on the land uses to the west. I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and show you the site plan of the proposed use. They are proposing a 12 by 60 foot outdoor patio area next to the building where they plan to host game nights, karaoke, and live music. Again, this could be problematic due to the residential properties located to the west across Old Voth Road. And staff is recommending a sound barrier in order to mitigate that impact. In addition, a drive-through lane is proposed to be placed between the restaurant and the patio. This could potentially create a hazard for patrons accessing the patio by crossing the drive-through lane. And let me show you that on the site plan. Again, you can see Unit 100 is here. The drive-through proposed is here in green. And the patio is proposed here in blue, again separated from the building in question. So I will mention that we did send out 8 notices. We've received 1 in favor and 1 in opposition. I'm going to go ahead and show you the rest of the slides. Here's the side of the application. This is a view of the subject property. A view to the north, the northwest. This is a view to the west, southwest. And let me go back to the site plan. Staff is recommending approval of the application subject to 2 conditions. Number 1, to provide an 8-foot sound barrier along the entire west side of the outdoor patio area. And number 2, the layout and design of the drive-through and patio must provide adequate protection to the pedestrians and patrons from vehicles, such as providing columns, bollards, pavement markings, and directional signage, with final approval subject to that of the city engineering department. So again, with the drive-through proposed in relationship to the outdoor patio, we are recommending these conditions in an attempt to mitigate any issues. And with that, are there any questions of staff?
What is our 8-foot sound barrier going to be?
That's my question.
So typically when we've required those in the past, it's an 8-foot cinder block is usually what is required to adequately screen the sound.
Okay.
So, in other words, on the, I guess it would be the west side of the patio, it would be essentially the top of that green bar, so that any sounds would be blocked by that
Okay.
blue bar. Yeah.
Any questions of staff?
Yes, what is the separation from the patio and the drive-through? What are the construction there?
Well, that's kind of the concern, and the reason for the condition was, and the applicant maybe could be able to better explain what the design ultimately is going to look like. But the concern is you have a drive-through window, a building, a drive-through, and then a patio, and so you've got that traffic circulating through there. So again, we're asking for that condition with final approval by engineering so that they're satisfied that it's as safe as it can be. But the applicant may be able to provide some insight into exactly what it's going to look like.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any other questions of staff? Okay. Is the applicant in the audience? Yes, ma'am. If you'll give us your name and address, please.
Tammy Scott, 4318 Country Club View, Baytown, Texas.
Okay. Do you have some information you want to share with us regarding those
Sure.
questions?
Sure, I can speak directly to your question. We have an existing daiquiri shop exactly like this design. So basically what we have is the drive-through comes through. We have a beautiful little crosswalk, very, very noticeable, bright yellow, that kind of stuff, so that people know it's a pedestrian crossing right there. And then also next to the patio, we have built some beautiful cement barriers, and we've placed planters in those. We have beautiful palms coming out of those planters. It's very tropical looking, so it's not only just safety, but it's aesthetically appealing. So we did that, and then also on the deck there is railing, and then on the railing we've used wire throughout underneath the wooden deck railing, so that there's no way a child could get in and out, et cetera, because we have lots and lots of kids. So that was our biggest safety. We also, at the other location, we built some benches, and in the planters we put tons of concrete. You can't move those benches if you try, and so a couple of cars have tried. So basically they're there, and it blocks off where the kids play, because we have a little kids play area. This, we're not going to be able to have a kids play area. So so we take safety as our ultimate, it's very, very important to us. So we've done everything in our power.
How do you, can you only enter the patio through the restaurant, or?
No, it's an interesting design, the same as this. You actually exit the front door and walk across in front of the building, across the drive-through and into the patio. It's almost identical design as this.
They wouldn't have to, there's no exits to come out in the pathway of the drive-through at all?
Okay, say again?
Say if there's no exits on the patio, that someone might walk out
Understood.
in front of a
No,
drive-through
ma'am.
vehicle.
The only gate to go in and out off the patio is onto the crosswalk that's blaringly visible.
Okay.
They can't get off the patio anywhere else. It's enclosed.
Okay. Any other questions? So your other location you have, is that in Baytown?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long has that been in
year.
existence? A year?
Yes, ma'am.
And no problems with?
We've had zero problems, thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, anyone? Thank you,
Thank you.
Ms. Scott. Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or in opposition? No one's come forward, so we're going to close the public hearing. Do I hear discussion or a motion?
Motion to approve with two conditions.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion to approve in a second.
Three conditions. No, two.
Did you list it? Sandy, you have to list the,
Oh, two. I didn't make the motion.
Okay.
You did. Did you say list the two?
Yes.
okay.
And I second.
All right, motion to approve in a second with the conditions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Chris, file PZ 2022-76.
Yes, ma'am. The next item is to consider a request for a revised specific use permit to allow a convenience store and gas station in the GCMD 2 General Commercial Multifamily Dwelling 2 District at 4050 Magnolia. Rahil Meridia is requesting a revised specific use permit to allow a convenience store and gas station at this location. In October of 2021, a specific use permit was approved for a 6,000 square foot building. It was expressed that a larger space would be welcome, so the applicant has returned with a larger building proposed. The proposed building would be approximately 9,000 square feet. A portion would be occupied by a convenience store with deli and would be open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 7 a.m. to midnight Friday and Saturday. The remaining structure would potentially be occupied by a washateria, a restaurant, and retail space. As the store would front on Magnolia Avenue, the use would be compatible with surrounding land uses. The rear of the building will be located in a GCMD 2 zone, and therefore requiring a specific use permit as well. Let me go ahead and show you the site plan there. As you look at the site plan, I'll go ahead and mention the parking lot should show the edge of pavement along the eastern edge, delineating between concrete and grassy areas, and the south edge must show at least 2 feet from the interior property line of the adjoining property. A few of the parking spaces are in awkward locations and are not needed, such as the 3 spaces between the front driveways, the 2 spots in the southwest corner, and the 7 spots in the northwest corner. Along Magnolia Avenue frontage, a 6-foot wide landscaping buffer with shrubs will be required. Along the portion of LaSalle next to the parking and fuel pumps, a 6-foot wide landscape strip with trees and shrubs will also be required. And let me go ahead and show the rest of the slides. Again, this is the subject property outlined in red on Magnolia and LaSalle. Subject property. A view to the south, the southwest, to the west, and to the north. And we did send out 20 notices. We received 1 in support and 0 in opposition. Staff is recommending approval of the application subject to the following conditions. Number 1, landscaping is required to meet city ordinance requirements. Number 2, show edge of pavement at least 2 feet from the adjoining property line and remove unnecessary parking spaces. And number 3, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer improvements, including any requirements of the city's backflow pre-treatment and or fog program. But again, with that, staff is recommending approval with those conditions.
Okay, any questions of staff? Okay,
What is lot 1, 2, 3, 4 behind?
I'm sorry?
The lots shows lot 1, 2, lot 3, lot 4 open spaces.
Right. So on the site plan,
Yes.
if you look at lots, the development in question looks to be on lot 1 and 2, which front Magnolia. Lots 3 and 4 front LaSalle to the rear. And some of that is proposed to be left undeveloped at this time.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions of staff? Thank you, Chris. Is the applicant in the audience? Yes, sir. If you'll give us your name and address, please.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Rahil Meridia, and I represent Magnolia LaSalle LLC, and the property address in question is 4050 Magnolia. It's at the corner of Magnolia and LaSalle in the city of Beaumont. Just to give you guys a little brief introduction, I was here in October of last year with the specific use permit and a rezone, which was approved. However, that specific use permit was approved for a 6,000 square feet building, give or take. And having the conversation with you guys, with the city council members, and doing further research within the community, we came to the conclusion that a bigger building would be necessary to facilitate the businesses that we wanted to bring in and to be able to provide a better service for the community. So as a result, we had to go back to the city council, the city planning department with a 9,000 square feet building, which is what we have done. And to answer your questions regarding plots 1, 2, 3, and 4, all 4 of those plots are owned by us. However, at the moment, as Mr. Boone pointed out, we are only developing plots 1 and 2. We might look into developing plots 3 and 4 in the future, obviously, or if we need to do a driveway entrance or something, we might look into that. However, if we do any of those things to lots 3 and 4, we will be following all the required ordinances that required rules and regulations that we would have to go through with the City of Beaumont Planning Commission or Planning Department.
Okay, any questions of the applicant? And you're willing to follow the conditions,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am. We will be making those changes as
Good.
the changes that Mr. Boone has
Okay,
specifically.
thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or opposition? Anyone who would like to speak? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. Is there a discussion or a motion?
Motion to approve with 3 conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, Chris, file PZ 2022-100.
Madam Chairperson, we've been in discussion with the applicants, and we are requesting to table this item at this
Okay.
time.
Okay. Okay, Chris, file PZ 2022-111.
Okay. This item is to consider a request for a specific use permit to allow a brew pub in the GCMD General Commercial Multifamily Dwelling District at 6280 Phelan. Gabrielle Blanco is requesting a specific use permit to allow a brew pub at this location. Half of the suite would be used to produce beer, and the other half would be used as a family-friendly restaurant. Hours of operation would be Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Sunday, noon to 9 p.m. Ms. Blanco has been operating a brew pub and restaurant in a nearby community and would like to bring her facility to Beaumont. And let me go ahead and show you the slides. This is the center outlined in red. And this is a layout of the center, and you can see in the top right, outlined in blue, is the leased premises where the proposed brew pub would be located. And this is an overall layout of the center. Another aerial, again, of the facility located on Phelan. View of the subject property. This is a view to the north. Behind the subject property. And this is a view, this is the driveway access to the east side of the shopping center leading out to Phelan Boulevard.
Okay, any questions of staff?
Let me just mention real quickly, we did send out 22 notices to area property owners. We received 7 in favor and 0 in opposition. Staff is recommending approval of this application subject to one condition. Construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for any water and sanitary sewer improvements, including any requirements of the city's backflow and or pre-treatment programs. In the staff memorandum, there was a second condition about direct access to the north. That's related to whether or not you may recall recently there's a school proposed to the north that's not in place currently, but if we anticipate if that school does go in, there would be a separation adequate where we don't feel like this condition is necessary. So
So if the school does go forward, the access we were talking out behind the building with buses going that way, that's not gonna be an issue?
We don't think it is.
Okay.
Again, this is the school, again, which is, I guess, discussed at the last meeting. I think their primary point of access is going to be here to the east, whereas this is going to be a little bit further to the west, as well as the interior of the shopping center. But again, there's a fence proposed to try to keep these
Okay.
uses separated.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of staff? Okay, is the applicant in the audience? Yes, ma'am. If you'll give us your name and address, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Gabrielle Blanco, and I, along with my husband Justin here, we own Buxton at 1211 Boston Avenue, Nederland, Texas, 77627. We are extremely excited about the opportunity to bring our restaurant to Beaumont. I think there's a great demand for it, and we've really established a really good name and relationship in our community in the last 2.5 years. And I'm here to answer any questions or anything you'd like to know about us.
How long has your other business been around?
We opened in December of 2019, and we're
Oh.
open for 3 months before
Good.
pandemic hit.
Good.
But we have survived through all of that.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant?
I'm sorry, I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you realize there's a school that's going in that parking in the same area?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do fully understand that charter school will be located in that 8 acres located behind it. The only thing we are is a restaurant. That is what our license is under. Family friendly always. We are a pizza restaurant. We've actually won Beaumont Enterprise's best pizza last year, and we're not even in Beaumont. So bringing a restaurant near a school to me is just a pro. I'm excited about the relationships that we can form with that school, as we're super involved in Nederland schools right now. I hope that we can see that in Beaumont as well. I don't want the fact that we do produce the beer that we serve to deter anyone from coming to a pizza restaurant, as most restaurants in our area actually carry liquor licenses, and we will not.
Question, your
Yes, ma'am.
current business, how do you keep your family-friendly restaurant separated from the
The
beers?
brewing area?
Yeah.
We do have a partition. It's during the day, normally it's just a pony wall, and then we have extra partitions that come up during the side, like in the evening and stuff. If any table kind of approaches it, we have extra partitions that we can bring out to, but it has never been an issue that a customer or a child can touch that while they're eating in the restaurant. It's kind of
Okay.
hard to explain. We're in the downtown historic district, so it's those old
Right.
shotgun style buildings, so it's way in the back, whereas the entire restaurant's up front.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Blanco.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
It's more of a legal review. So we just issued the specific use permit for the school here, 2 weeks ago. I thought that there's some type of state law that, limits how close you can be to a school if you're selling alcohol. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Ms. Blanco? Thank you. Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition? Anyone who would like to speak? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. Do we have a discussion or a motion?
A motion to approve with all conditions.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the final item, PZ 2022-112, is to consider a request for a specific use permit to allow a religious organization in the GCMD2 General Commercial Multifamily Dwelling 2 District at 1610 South Major Drive. The Sikh Center of Southeast Texas is requesting a revised specific use permit to allow a religious organization at this address. The center will be open on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., on religious holidays, and occasionally during the week. This property fronts on Major Drive, but will share a driveway with the property to the north and rear of this lot, as TxDOT has restricted the driveway access for both properties to one Major Drive access. Should point out that a 6-foot wide landscape buffer with shrubs will be required along the width of the major drive frontage due to the parking lot being adjacent to the right-of-way. And due to the residential property along the south property line, a 10-foot wide landscape buffer containing trees will be required along that property line. And let me go ahead and show you the slides. This is the location of the site outlined in red. This is the site plan. Another view of the proposed site. You can see it again. It's adjacent to the residential neighborhood to the south, thus the requirement for the buffer. Oops. A view of the subject property. This is a view to the north. A view to the east. And a view to the south. And staff did mail out 19 notices to area property owners. We've received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. Staff is recommending approval of this application, subject to one condition, which is just the landscaping required to meet city ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any questions of staff? Okay,
How many square feet building is this?
So let's see. The applicant can probably tell us pretty quickly, but let me see if it's shown on the application. It is not, but the applicant could probably share that with us.
Okay, any other questions of staff? Okay, is the applicant in the audience?
Yes, it's about 5,000 square feet.
Okay, may we get your name and address, please?
Diana Gomez, 12410 Keith Road, Beaumont, Texas, 77113.
And you are?
I'm Stephanie, also representing.
Stephanie, your last name?
Wheat
And address?
is going to be 12410 Keith Road, also.
Thank you.
In Beaumont, Texas.
Okay, is there additional information that you would like to share with us?
No,
And the square footage was?
about 5,000 square feet.
Okay. Okay, is there any questions? You'll get a chance. Okay. All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, the public hearing's now open. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or in opposition? Yes, ma'am. If we could get your name and address, please.
My name is Nancy Resendez. I am the executor for Joanne Haltom for the property that is, you sent her a letter, but none of the other Haltoms received a letter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 13 people who own this property. I don't know. Sutex surveyors. I met with them this morning. They're trying to figure out the estate part of this. We want to put it up for sale because the lots there's 3 lots there. I don't really know what I need to tell you other than I'm not opposed to it, but none of them received a letter. So I don't know who gets the letters, but there's 15 people who own 3 lots. These 3 lots, whatever this is on Mayfair Edition.
Mm-hmm.
This just states one of them, so only one of them must do the property, but the attorney said I had to show up today, so I'm here to represent Joanne Haltom, who is deceased.
I did look up the multiple owners.
Oh,
on
God,
the
there's a million.
JCAD website. I didn't send letters to.
But,
I believe it was 14 people.
There's 14.
I did.
And then did you get the Ray Moore, the George Morgan, and the T.W. Moak that aren't part of the
I
Haltoms?
do remember T.W. Moak. I don't have all that with me, but I do remember.
So I've been working closely with a real estate agent, regional title. The zoning is not zoned properly. If you look it up in some areas, it said they were going to contact whoever. It says that Central High is on this property, and it's zoned with the Purple Stadium, whatever that is, between Jaguar and Oxford. But then when the real estate agent pulls it up, it comes up in this area. So this morning, I met with Anthony Leger with Sutex Surveyors, And they are actually going out and going to do this week an actual survey that the estate is gonna pay for so we can figure out and sell this land. But I am not opposed to doing anything as far as Miss Haltom, but I can't speak for any of the other Haltoms that did not, they said they didn't get a letter. So, but I mean, they're in Mississippi and one of them just passed away, and T.W. Moak's 91 and Ray Moore is 92. So if they die, we're going to go into 12 more people because Miss Haltom's estate's going into 2 more people, which is myself and a niece. So just trying to
Okay.
clear it up. That's
So,
it.
Can I ask you a question? So what you're saying is that,
I've got a
but none of it's
packet.
encroaching on what's being proposed to be built, right? It's just surrounding the area?
Is that what it is? I don't really understand.
Chris, can you pull that up so we can see the area she's speaking of, please?
Because that does nothing for me, the looking at the map and stuff.
Okay, so you're across the property in
I
question
think
is
hers
across
is
the street.
across the land, across
Okay.
the street.
Okay, so it sounds like this is the property in question, the property that,
There's 3 lots that are 100 by 303 each
yeah. And
that face this.
okay. And some may be beyond how far we notify, and some names of property owners don't always show up on appraisal district.
Trust
but
me,
that's
this
who we,
past year I have found that out.
right? Okay. But just to be clear, the proper notification has been done for this item, and if approved, the zoning would be correct for this proposed use.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor or opposition? Anyone else? Public hearing is now closed. Do we hear a discussion or a motion?
Motion to approve with one condition.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with the condition and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. And I think that's it, Madam Mayor.